word.
We in our bag, you feel me?
I'm staying
You know
over
what I'm
here.
saying?
I'm not in any gangs. I'm not.
We in our
affiliated.
bag. Yeah. We also not cancer, so it's, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Water, shout out to the water signs out there in the world.
Hey,
You know, big energy. If you don't know, right, and you first time tuning in, you are at the Phree Game Podcast, and we thank you. We thank you for being here. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the space. We want to thank everybody that's been tapping in since day one. You know, we always got to shout out our day ones
out to
at
the day
top
ones.
of the podcast. We have to acknowledge our friends. Who we still only do this for, because those are the only people that watch.
If you can't do it for your friends, who can you do it for?
You know what I'm saying? And like, I love y'all. I do. I have to say that every podcast as well. I love y'all. And I love the friends the new friends that I'm acquiring, you know, new gangs. You know what I'm saying? Not gangs. Y'all know. Don't be out there trying to clip me saying I'm on some gang, you know what I'm saying, affiliation stuff. Like, this is like the gang of love. You down or you not, you feel me? But like, that's even weird to say. Fuck Diddy, man. Why did fucking Diddy have to coin a certain image of love? Like, why he gotta be Diddy? I mean, what's his name? Love, Mr. Love Doctor or some shit.
His name is Dirt. Fuck that dude.
Why did I even say his name? I might clip that. Fuck Diddy. I don't even know why I'm giving airtime to his name anymore. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, back to Pride Month and back to y'all beautiful, lovely people that decide to spend some of y'all time with us. I am humbled to have you. My name is Phree, and I get the honor of podding every week with my mans to my right,
What
JG.
up? It's your man's JG. We in here.
You dig? And so we here. We here to talk about some things. And in honor of Pride Month, you know, I just got back from WOCW. Shout out to Womex of Color Weekend. Shout out to Jadi, who is the director of WOCW, down where we as Black, beautiful, queer people go take over Provincetown. You know what I'm saying?
P-town.
And we go do our 1-2 step for 4 days straight. And it was dope as fuck. Like, it was just high energy, all love, all weekend, camaraderie. Like, people come from all over the place, like fly in to come spend time with each other, and it's just beautiful. And if you didn't make it, I'm sorry for you, because you missed magic, but it is guaranteed to continue, because that's just the type of space it is. Yeah. That's just the kind of, you know, energy we have there. And we got to keep that energy going. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep it going. And so I will say on June 9th, the If You Can Feel It, You Can Speak It open mic is back for Pride motherfucking month. You dig us? You know what I'm saying? We've been around for a long time, and now we back. You know, we lost our home, so shout out to the Milky Way. We love you. That used to be our home. But now, you know, big ups to, you know, Jadi, who is the founder of the If You Can Feel It, You Can Speak It open mic. We are back in full for 1 year at the Civic Pavilion on the City Hall Plaza in Boston. So please tap in. Please come out. You know, we are the longest running, only running open mic dedicated to the LGBTQ community of color here in Boston. So let's support each other. Let's make the family bigger. You know what I'm saying? Let the space be bigger and more welcoming to everybody that's willing to be down for love and creative expression within that, and community and tribe and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, 100%.
So big ups to that. And with that being said, I heard about this fucking new Apple update shit from you.
Yo.
Okay. And I'm going to say this before those of y'all that know, I guess know, right? But like those of y'all that don't know, apparently Apple has an update that the iOS update brought back deleted photos. Yeah?
From like forever ago.
Okay.
Like long deleted photos just popping back up like, hey, remember me?
Wow. Trigger.
Yeah, it was crazy, and people were freaking out because it raises a lot of questions, right? Like, what does delete really mean? Right? Also, Apple said these things were deleted. So if you like tried to go find them on purpose, you couldn't necessarily find them, right?
That's crazy.
But they were somewhere this whole time doing what? who was doing what to the pictures. People need to know.
But we know what was being done to the pictures.
Yeah.
I mean, they use them. They
train AI, whatever.
Every time that Apple like window pops up, it's like, do you accept? And you're like, yo, get off my screen. Okay. Guess what you just okayed? You just okayed for that picture to be all over wherever the hell they want it to be. You have now
to train
just
facial recognition. Come on. To train AI. To train all kinds of things.
Come on.
To create, maybe we talked a while ago about these AI models that are making $11K
robots.
A month. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They need your face. They need your face. They need your motion.
And whatever else you
your
took
voice.
Pictures of. Oof.
It's crazy. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Imagine being there with your new boo. Like your fiance. Like you about to get married.
This scenario,
you know what I'm saying?
Wild.
Y'all laid up in the bed, and you know what I'm saying? It just bloop bloop. The alert goes off.
Update complete.
Ding ding ding. You know the Apple noise and shit. Update complete. And then you get all these notifications. You click on that joint. You try to show your honey boo thing a picture you took her last night, and all of a sudden. You got all these
all the nonsense you got rid of years ago.
The 20 photos you got of your last just pops up on your phone. What the hell do you do? How do you explain that shit?
Yeah, it's despicable.
Man.
It's a huge invasion of privacy. It's an invasion of trust. Yeah, it's just there's no excuse for it.
Listen, nothing is safe. Nothing is yours. Nothing like belongs to you ever.
Once it goes into the cloud,
it ain't yours.
Apparently,
son.
It could rain back down at any time.
Rain down on me. Let your love just fall like rain.
Not like raindrops. I'm sure some of those pictures show back up like a monsoon. Wowzers, man! Imagine you just got over some memory that like scarred you deep. Like, this is trauma that you got rid of. You finally worked up the courage to delete the pictures, to move on, to blah, blah, and here they are back again like, hey.
Like, I didn't want to see that person from however many years ago pop up. Y'all cuddling and stuff. Y'all got that cheat. Y'all know y'all got them photos you tried to delete for your new.
That's what I'm saying. They out here trying to remind us of who we used to be. We not that anymore.
That should be crazy.
We're different people now.
Never mind, Apple does that shit on its own. When they want to give you a memory, no, you don't. Your team Android. We know.
I mean, I have Apple devices and Android devices.
You got the green bubble.
I have an Android phone. I do have an iPad and some other Apple devices.
So the memories don't pop up?
I'm more technology agnostic. No, Google Photos will definitely show you some memories.
Like just randomly. Like I can't even open my phone without seeing
on this day, 7 years ago, and it's showing you pictures of like the day you got divorced or something. You're like, Google, no.
Yo.
Wild.
Speaking of Google, no.
Speaking of Google, no. Listen, bro.
So
they, coming to Apple for these updates. Apparently, Google, with their AI enhanced search, apparently the AI bots are giving people wildly wrong answers. They interviewed the CEO of Google. They said, hey, your AI seems to be wilding out, giving people the wrong answers, obviously wrong answers. He's like, yeah, we're not going to do anything about it. Excuse me? The company whose name has become synonymous with looking shit up to see if it's true is not going to fix their AI assisted search engine?
Then they wonder why motherfuckers don't know basic math. Google, what's 2 + 2? 25.
Right. Convincingly, right?
The epitome of math don't math. Like what the literally, like what are we talking about here?
We had that conversation about the truth being situational, and sometimes 1 + 1 isn't 2, but this is not.
This is way beyond. This is like
not that. This is not philosophical. This is like, hey Google, how long ago was 1919? And they telling you shit like 20 years ago. Like it's crazy. And it's a lot of people are saying, oh, this is Terminator.
You look up like
go ahead.
Farrakhan and Obama pop up and shit. Like
That already happens, though.
I'm weak.
They be mixing up the black celebrities in Wikipedia and Google searches all the time, bro.
That is crazy.
You look up Malcolm X and you get Denzel's depiction of Malcolm X from the movie.
That's insane.
But, you know.
That's insane. But they lying like everybody else is. They just, I mean, it's accurate.
Bro,
if they are taking people's identities to create these robots, it is not far past me that I would understand. Well, it's beyond me, but I'm just saying, like, I get the concept that if you're trying to duplicate humanity, I mean, it ain't far-fetched.
You gotta mine the data, right?
Fucking humanity ain't nothing but inaccurate liars.
But then the other
walk
thing
the face of this earth.
The other thing that's crazy about AI, right, is like AI will send these bots out to comb the internet to get information, and then accumulate the information and be like, okay, I learned some things. But now you have AI that creates content. So now what's happening is AI bots are going out and scraping the internet for information and content, but they're getting AI generated content as well, which also goes into the pot, which means that now AI is training AI. It's like the truth is being obliterated to a certain sense. Not to sound too much like a conspiracy theorist, because we can still sit down and talk to each other. We can still read books and get at the truth. But this just reminds us, like, it's really, really important to think critically, to think for yourself, and to process what you're seeing, because every trusted source ain't a trusted source.
Yeah, but this ain't. Save your books.
Yes, please.
This is the reason. It makes perfect sense. Full circle. When did they start burning books and burning libraries?
Bro, and banning them and all that. Come on, bro.
This is like been planned. This is part of the equation here. You know what I'm saying? Of their system, their systematic math. You know what I mean? That shit is like, you saying that right now and this happening is like, yo, that's literally where it took me, was like, yo, don't you remember when people started going, up in arms about them burning libraries, or like, burning history? Like, that's what they've been doing over centuries. Whitewashing us, taking away our identity. It's the same concept happening, it's just the way that it's moving with the times. It's adapting to how we are existing. So if now in this era of social media or media and digital world, they're going to utilize that to manipulate us some more. Hey, duh, guys.
Right.
It's not like, to me, this isn't, and I guess that's the part, right? It's like, we should be shocked by these things, right, that are happening. We should be like, oh, shit, really? That's happening?
It should bring the world to a halt, and people should be like, yo, you got to cut this shit out right now.
Yeah, but instead it's like, oh, damn, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Can
okay,
you
so
believe that happened?
What are you doing tonight for dinner?
Right. Oh, wait, let me ask Google.
Right. Oh, shit. Yo. Google, what's the best restaurant in the area?
That's what I'm saying.
McDonald's,
fam. Or whoever paid him, right? Like, nah, like, no, like, for real, yo. Like,
that's crazy, but it's so true.
You'll search something on Google now, even before the AI became more prominent and shit. You search something on Google, and the first results that you get are ad-supported results. People have paid Google to put their result first. And we're trained to understand that whatever comes up on Google first is the most important, the most authoritative, the most blah, blah, blah. And the thing is, like, originally they were labeling it, this is, whatever, ad-supported or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I think that those labels have gotten smaller, and people just kind of like, it almost doesn't register. It just blends into the background.
Like, what is the ultimate, like, end game, you think, of, like, their end game? Like, what is this? Is just really, like, just puppeteering at its finest? Is just like, fun for the people to, like, play with us? Or, like, is this there's an ultimatum, and is ultimatum, like, or not ultimatum, excuse me. What's the final straw? Like, what's the end game? Is your end game to, like, destroy us all, like, literally wipe us off the face of the earth? Or, like, what is the goal? Is it just for play? Like, the things that are happening, the way it's developing. I mean, we could talk about scripture. We could talk about ways that this is just, it's been written, right? But, like, to me, I'm just curious about, like, what? Like, what do you want? Like, what do you want from us? Like, what is the thing?
Yeah, man. It's such a disparate group of people that are working on this thing, right? And like, you definitely can look at the people at the top who are guiding the companies, but even they are not down in the code making it happen, right? Like, as someone who's done software development and has hired software developers and been a part of a lot of the creation of the internet, a lot of it was just experiments. What can we do? How can we do it? We're sitting here programming, oh, what if I could make it do this thing, right? What if I could make it do this other thing? Oh, what if I can make it throw up fancy colors? Or what if I could make it rank and prioritize, results by how many visits a web page has gotten, this, that, the other, right?
Yeah.
But what happens is this natural curiosity gets touched by capitalism and everything gets turned into a product. So a search result isn't just information anymore. It's a product now. Because Google has to sell ads in order to stay in business.
So you have to be financially well to know history.
They start selling search prominence, right? Right. But even if you...
To access it. That's how they're going to make it. It's like, now you have to, in order to access history, it's going to be so vintage and inaccessible to the random person that you have to like know somebody that knows somebody to be able to access certain information.
But like, let's not say that technology is the new way that is so different, right? Because even what we read as history, in order to get a book published before the internet, right? You had to research a book, write a book, get somebody to believe in the book,
edit it,
get a publisher, get that publisher to distribute it. Otherwise, it would just be a book that you had, and maybe you could hand it out to a few different people, blah, blah. People can self-publish now, and books go wherever they go. But even if you read history, there's vastly different accountings of the same event. You talked about scripture. Even if you read the Bible, or the books that didn't make it into the Bible when they had the meaning to decide what was going to go in or not going.
We're going to have a conversation around that one day.
We have to.
We have to.
And we should bring in definitely some biblical experts, because we got a lot of those that are willing to talk about this.
Word.
But like, even the Bible, what's apocryphal, what's not apocryphal, this, that, the other, blah, blah, vastly different accounts of what happened. So what account becomes prominent is already a result of social programming. Right? So even if I go to the library right now and I want to read about a famous person from history, George Washington, I probably could find conservatively 50 books, more than that, right? But scholarly books that are written about George Washington's life and try to recount the events and where he was and what he was doing and this, that, the other, and blah. And all those books are not going to agree, right? And the further you get away from the reporting of something, the less accurate the information becomes. And so it's all, we talked about this a little bit before too. It's all a story. What is the story that we're telling? And that's what's so insidious about banning certain books, about saying that kids can't learn about slavery, or you can't use the word gay in Florida, which is crazy, right? Because you change the story. And when people can't engage with certain ideas, they just have to take your word for it. They just, whatever you tell them, that's just what it is. Because they don't get to consider it. They don't get to criticize it. They don't get to examine it for themselves.
And I think it just made us lazier, like
Absolutely.
as a humanity. So people don't want to do the work to go seek the information, especially when now it's not as accessible sometimes as it was once, right? Like if they're burning libraries, it's not. When I was coming up in elementary school or high school, like you were forced to go to the library, pick out books, cite your resources, identify encyclopedias. Like nobody is gonna go to get an encyclopedia today. Like it just like these students.
Yeah,
nobody's reading out of encyclopedias. But like that's where the era that I come from in schooling. Yeah. So like to me, I agree with you, and you're like, with farther and farther we get, the less accurate it becomes. And if you're going to destroy what's documented, then how inaccurate we are as a people, and how like ignorant we're going to become as a people, the more this happens, right? And the more that we're allowing. And I don't like the word allowing, because again, this goes back to like, well, you're going to critique it and not have a solution. Because I don't even know. I say this every podcast. I have no fucking idea. I am never on here trying to say I have a solution. This podcast is about creating solutions, and that ain't this. This is like hey, yo, what's going on out here? Who got the answers to what? Because this shit crazy. And anybody that, wants to follow our engagement in this podcast thing, those are the people I'm talking to. You know what I'm saying? So what do we do? Like, what is and this isn't particularly for you, just those out there, like, what do we do in these situations, and how do we not be just submissive to what they give us, the way that they're trying to, continue to manipulate us in a way we can't control, like robots. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Controlling what we can see, even what current events.
When we can't even control ourselves, because that's the thing. Once we still have control of ourselves, or can have control of ourselves, and there's a fine line there too, and we live in this America. But we still have an opportunity to be able to own us, right? Whatever that means for you. But I can still control me, my actions, how I decide to move, what I decide to do. You know what I'm saying? And some people look at that as freedom, right? So other people come into America and they no, you guys are so this is America is the greatest place. Look at you guys, you have all this stuff and you get to just do this and you get to do that, unknowing, right, the kind of sabotage that we're under, right? And how these podcasts, or this podcast, is a contribution to reaching for a community connection to say, okay, yeah, we know this is all going on, this is happening, maybe we can't do anything about it independently, one person, but which is again what I'm always continuously trying to say, or trying to communicate, effectively, is I really just need us to hold hands. Remember you hold hands in a circle and everybody connects. Oh yeah, play Red. What's that game called? Red Rover.
Red Rover.
And you hold each other's hands. You send someone over. Then you're oh no, we got you. You're mine now.
You're mine now is crazy.
But in a lovely community way.
I'm glad you cleaned that up.
Send it over. Come on.
Wow,
no, it's an invitation, and then then the metaphor I'm about to spin, because I can do that, poet. But the idea of running over and you're supposed to break through the lock, right? We're locked in, and you're the idea is that you're supposed to run through and break this. And if you don't break it, guess what? You become us now, right? And so we could flip that in a lot of ways, and it could be flipped in a negative way. But I mean in a more powerful, metaphoric, a positive way, that you can rebel. It can, the society will have you going against this idea of community and being together in love and love and love. And they'll challenge us to not choose love over and over and over again. But when there's so much love, fuck the system.
I mean, for real. I think that this pod is about sharing perspective, about building community, and taking an honest look at things, right? Because fam, society is so fragile. All society is a collection of agreements that we have with each other. And once those agreements, just like they have been, right, are systematically violated, cast to the side, etc., we become less and less of a society. I don't think people in this country, unless they came here from somewhere else where they witnessed something like this happening, are ready for the de-evolution of a society into chaos, right? Because there is visible oppression. People talk about, dictators and, laws and this, that, the other, and blah, blah, blah. And then there's invisible oppression, which is kind of what we're talking about on this pod, right? Where they're fucking with information, or they're telling you that your data is safe, that your information is safe and protected, and it's not, right? And that's an invisible form of controlling you, of oppressing you, of feeding you ideas that it seems oh yeah, this is reasonable. Everybody agrees to this, And listen, bro, when those community bonds are gone, and it's literally every person for themselves.
But it's designed that way.
It gets ugly really, really quickly.
It's designed that way, and we're all shaping ourselves to be locked into this. this is our source of communication. This is our source of information. It's in our face, the cell phones, the iPads, the everything. It didn't, I think it made it worse when, LOL, full circle moment. It made it worse in COVID, you know what I'm saying? And because we had to adopt to the media. Like that was the way we had to live, was via Zoom and digital and Instagram and, you know what I'm saying? And now it has completely shaped the way that we habitually, right, behaviorally are like always on social media or on our phones. People still are working from Zooms or meetings still on Zoom, still prefer to be on Zoom. So it still has completely disconnected people from other people's engagement, right? It's all connected. Like we have this, not, you said the word conspiracy. Like I don't even think, fuck that, bro. Like there's not a conspiracy. It's what happens. Look at the facts. Like we're still up against Trump being running for president, and you just told me again, I've been out of I've been away for a while.
God bless you for being away.
I've been away.
I could have been away, man.
I can't. Like I just can't consume. I like literally couldn't consume anything else besides what I was doing for the last 2 weeks. But
I definitely feel like I need to unplug, fam. Like you're a shining beacon of like, just go away for a minute.
Yes.
Be around love, be away from this bullshit, and come back feeling so much more like yourself.
I've been trying to say we gotta go. Like I've been saying, like, let's go for a day or two overnight somewhere. We could go straight up to,
or a decade or two. Fuck
yeah,
it. Let's
I'm saying, but like in the more immediate, like today, tomorrow, next weekend, you go somewhere, get by some nature, some water, some sun, some away from this, like away from your bubble, your your normal stuff, whatever that look like. Like you need to get away. You need to get away. So
I was telling you because you missed the news.
Yeah.
So Donald Trump was on trial in New York, 34 counts of election fund misuse and some other stuff, 34 felonies he was up to be tried on. And he got found guilty on all 34 counts by a jury of his peers.
Word.
And immediately the response from people that are happy with the verdict are like, yay, finally. And from the people who are unhappy with the verdict is, oh man, it's a conspiracy and, they set him up and it's all lies or he's going to win on appeal or blah, blah. And the thing that's crazy is this guy with 34 felony convictions is still absolutely going to run for president and still has quite the chance of winning.
Bro, Kanye West is running for president.
Again?
I watched Drink Champs interview.
Okay.
He was just on Drink Champs. And he kept insinuating it through the entire fucking thing, in a real Kanye West kind of way.
Yeah.
And
he drops the hints.
You know what I'm saying? Like he insinuated he would be running against Trump, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
And
against Trump this time. Got it. Okay. All right.
Yep. And he was more like, yeah, I love Trump, but people need da-da-da-da-da type thing. And it was very much like, I'm gonna lead. Trump's cool. We're cool, high five, but like we ain't.
Wow.
I'm gonna do this.
I gotta go watch this Drink Champs interview now.
Mm-hmm. This ain't a sponsorship, but if you know what I mean. But I love Kanye still. I don't care what y'all say.
No, yeah. I mean, listen, bro. Like
I will watch
Kanye is entitled to his thoughts. He's entitled to his opinions. He's entitled to the way that he expresses himself, bro. Like I don't get this trying to cancel people for the shit that they say.
Especially when you got AI telling you some bullshit.
Well, right.
Google.
But also, and I get that people say harmful things, and there should be accountability. At least making them aware, hey, this is harmful. Did you mean to be harmful? And like, continuing the conversation. But like, even the concept of canceling, we've bounced that idea around a little bit, and it's, it's a word that gets used to indicate something that doesn't always stick. But like, let Kanye be Kanye.
And like,
Why are we trying to stop Kanye from being Kanye?
But like, and then like the other thing is like, I won't go too much into Beyonce, but this reminded me about this weekend, and there was a conversation that came up about Beyonce.
Go ahead.
And one person was like, "Yo, I love Beyonce. Beyonce's, you know what I'm saying?" Da-da-da. Somebody else was like, "Yeah, it was cute, but like, no Beyonce. Like, no dub. Like, Beyonce's this, Beyonce's that." Da-da-da.
Right.
So I'm observing the ways that this industry is operating from an artist perspective, then from a, not then, but like also as like a human being perspective, and watching the people around me look at celebrity or like, what's on TV and taking it as like reality. And it's not. Like, it's just not. And what's reality, like it just squeezes through the cracks. Like it's so hard to get the truth, or to get a conviction from Trump, or to get the truth about Diddy, or to get the truth about so many people in these high-ranking situations, because money, because machine, because power. But like, fucking, it's sick. But what do we do? What do we do about that? Like, how do we stop? We can't stop Trump from voting. I said it to you earlier. I mean, I'm from running for president. I said it to you earlier. Right. I was like, so does he still get to run? Yeah, he just can't vote for himself. Like, what type of
there are certain government positions that you can't hold if you are a convicted felon. President is not one of those positions.
That's insane.
It's crazy.
That's insane. How many people can't get a job?
But again, people lean on, the Constitution. Yeah. Written by slaveholders in the fucking 1700s. It's gonna be flawed.
Folks can't get a job at a
Walgreens saying,
if they got a freaking conviction and
right.
And but you can run for president. You can if you got the money in the backing. Anybody could do it.
Yeah, it's a pretty wild situation, and to tag on to this thing that you're saying about celebrities, there's a certain level of projection that happens when someone is famous, when someone's in the spotlight. A certain kind of like, what would I do if I were in their position? Which is not necessarily a bad thing. Visualizing ourselves with power, with whatever is actually a healthy exercise, right? And thinking about the ethics, the morals of what these folks are doing. But very much to what you're saying, you can't forget that these are human beings who are making human choices, who are doing the best that they can, the best that they know how, maybe sometimes the worst that they can, the worst that they know how. Right. And like, it's difficult sometimes to know the difference until you see the evidence, until you understand the fullness of the situation. The question is, do you give people the benefit of the doubt? Do you not give them the benefit of the doubt? That's a choice that everybody has to make. You know what I mean? And it's like, man, it's tough out here, right? Because like, I know that like there are choices that I've made that I'm sure somebody would love to hold me accountable for that choice. That I made as a human being in a human situation, that et cetera, right? And like, why did I make that choice? What was my motivation? What was the blah, blah, And like, I think that it's fine to project, but as my friend Phree will always tell you, if you're not looking inside and trying to clean up your own house, what are you really doing, fam?
You can't do anything.
That's what I'm saying. Yo.
You are literally just like building something up for it to fall down. You literally cannot. Like it's like Jenga.
Hey.
It's like domino.
Straight house of cards.
It is. It's like it ain't even sustainable. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking about that on like earlier today. Like, yo, there's so many things that I've tried to build, and all the wrong things was not in the right alignment and pieces, and I was just building for that shit to crumble. It looked nice. Oh, I thought I was stacking them up there. I was putting them up.
Right.
But guess what? As soon as the gust of wind blow, that shit falls the fuck down. And like, a lot of that is because you can't build shit without being right with yourself. Like, you just can't contribute. You can't contribute in an authentic way if you are not authentically you. And that doesn't mean perfect either. A lot of people get this idea of it being like, you got to always do the right thing and make the right decisions. No, it just means that you don't do anything intentionally to harm people.
Right. That
you are considerate and compassionate to people. Kindness goes a long fucking way. You know what I'm saying? We are all struggling. Like everyone, every single person alive today breathing is struggling in some way, shape, or form. And as a true Cancer, I've had to do a lot of work, and I'm still continuing to do a lot of work with taking things personal. Cause I got a habit of, I walk into somewhere and if they got an attitude, I'm like, what did I do to you?
Why you got an attitude?
What
with
you
me?
do, what I do to you. And like,
Right.
It's like, nah, like this life is hard and we just have to find grace. And there's so many people that have taught me that by way of giving me grace. And so it is only right to reciprocate that, you know, to other people. And like, I encourage y'all to do that because like, yo, it's tough, yo. It's tough. Also, talk to wait staff properly, meaning like be kind.
That is a...
Stop snapping your fingers. Stop. All that. You know what I mean? If it's that serious.
Can you say that again for the people in the back?
Be kinder to wait staff, bro. Like servers. People, I don't think people understand. We got to talk about that real quick. I don't think people understand the history of service.
Let's talk about it.
Okay. It stems from Black people being put in those positions, forced in those positions.
People in bondage being forced to serve.
Thank you. I guess you just have to put it plainly like that. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Because it's the reality.
The reason why servers work for tips.
Thank you.
And not for salary is because when the transition was made from slavery is legal to slavery is illegal, people didn't feel like servants should be paid a wage. I mean, they should have to go above and beyond, and then you can reward them for exemplary service. The foundation of this country is shaky as fuck and crumbling in a lot of places, right? And like, let's not lean too heavy on the way that things used to be. Let's figure out how things should be and try to build that.
That part.
Even if it means that we got to wipe away some of what used to be, let it go.
Mm-hmm. That let it go shit. That let it go shit. Yo, I was motherfucker that hold on. That let it go shit is important. It is so important. Like, it is so hard with all our attachment styles to different things and stuff. But like, if you can find a way to release and let go, child.
It'll upgrade your whole life.
The way that you were made to exist when you woke up today and when you wake up tomorrow should be enough of a reason to let that shit go. Like, let that shit go. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're all like, oh, forgiveness, and we got to find our way to the closings. And, hey, yo, we just have to find true joy in ourselves. Right. And yes, forgiveness and is a part of letting go, is a part of releasing, right? Let's make sure that, you know, when we're trying to be accountable for the ways we've harmed, like you said, I'm sure people... Right. You should have been held accountable. You weren't, whatever. But you learn, right? So we make sure we don't repeat patterns, right?
Right.
But like, grace goes a long motherfucking way.
And just a shout out to the fact that unintentional harm is still harm.
It is.
I think that if we're authentically looking to cure the harms that we've done, you don't have to worry too much about whether someone is inauthentically coming to you and saying that you harmed them. Right. Listen, fam, if I did something that hurt you and you tell me that you hurt, I'm going to be like, oh, wow. I may have questions about what it is that I did that hurt you. How did that hurt you? Like you said, so that I can avoid that behavior in the future. But for me to give you an apology for something that I did probably on purpose, maybe by accident, whatever, that caused you harm unintentionally, that doesn't diminish me. That doesn't, right?
That part.
It doesn't even necessarily mean that I made a consciously bad choice. It means I didn't have enough information to make the right choice for our relationship in that situation. And so this conversation is now an opportunity for me to learn how we navigate these things in the future, right? And like having humility, having a willingness to cure even unintentional harm gives you the opportunity to have right relationships. And that brings us full circle to what we've been talking about this whole time, right? Which is like the solution, unclear. The path to get there is right relationships with your people, with your community, with society at large, right? And like, fam, we just trying to spread love. We trying to be love. We trying to represent love over here at the Phree Game Podcast.
In order to do that, you gotta love yourself. And in order to do that, you gotta understand what love is and what it means to love. And a lot of us growing up in trauma really have a misunderstanding of what love looks like, feels like. And acts like, behaves like, the way it takes shape and takes form in our lives. And I think, again, it just, affirms why I like to have these conversations out loud so that we can learn together. Because, how are you supposed to know unless someone teaches you? Whether that person be your own experiences, which is 98% of the time how you learn, 100, 10 out of 10, you know what I'm saying? You learn, by way of experiencing, you hard-headed like me, you learn the hard way. You do the thing about 5-6 times to just be sure that it was not the right thing to do.
I want to reclaim that because it is the hard way, but like, it's what's effective for you, right? Like,
I suppose.
Nah, because I don't want people to be out here feeling like they need to squash their hope of like reconciliation or redemption. Yes, you can see patterns, you can recognize that like things are not working, but like don't see repeatedly having to go through something to learn it as a deficit in yourself, because you're learning something about yourself there too, right? And that's just, I don't know. I get tenderhearted around hard-headed people because some of my favorite people in the world are hard-headed as fuck.
I mean,
but nah. Listen.
I mean, but shout out to the lessons I have learned, though. I mean, they've taken some time.
100%.
But trust me, I have arrived at some places. You know what I'm saying? I have arrived at some places that are very beautiful.
And everybody's hard-headed about something. So I think we can have empathy about that. Just because I can see it clearly, I can see this thing clearly, doesn't mean that I see everything clearly.
And shout out to the people that see you before you get to see you. Or before you see you. You know what I'm saying? Like the people that are willing to hold a mirror up so that you see you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and even when that mirror is like still like, okay, maybe you don't understand that it's you that you're looking at. The moment that you realize it's you that you're looking at, go back and thank the people that held the mirrors up. Go back and thank the people that are around you that have supported the way that you have been able to learn your lesson, to evolve, to grow, to build when you feeling good and light and airy. Like, make sure that you're thanking the people that had everything to do with that, right? Because yes, it's a self journey, it's a you thing, but that you thing is also comes with the choices you make, and some of the hardest choices, but like. Yeah, I guess that was a big shout out to everybody in my tribe and the people around me, and saying thank you, big energy and big love to all of y'all who have grounded me in my evolution phases. And even when I thought I was like, oh yeah, I got somewhere, it was like, okay, yeah, but what's this thing right here?
But nah, fam.
Wait, but like this thing right here, this right here, that thing right there,
that thing,
the final boss.
Yeah.
Once you get that, then we can talk. It's like, all right, God, I've had many conversations, and I don't want people out there to lose hope in themselves.
Right.
And it is so important. And if you don't feel like you have tribe, you always have tribe with me. Come find me. It's at the Phree Game Podcast. Come DM me wherever. I'm very accessible. I don't know if Jonathan want to extend his accessibility.
Y'all know where to find me. Come get at me. For real. I'm here for y'all. We both here for y'all. For sure. We could get on a group Zoom if y'all want.
Let's do group Zoom. But we gotta meet in person too, cause like you know what I'm saying. This is,
for sure.
But we could start off as Zoom like a first date.
Word.
Anyways, we love y'all, and we gonna end right there at the John, because if not, I'm gonna talk about first dates, and I don't even want to talk about first dates. I do. What's a good first?
Why don't you give us 5 minutes on first dates? Go ahead.
Okay, so tell me what a good first date is. How do y'all date out there? I need to know. I need to know.
How do y'all date out there?
Yeah, because I need to know. I need to know how. Okay, no, let me ask you this. Okay, we can't end. Okay, no, we can't end. There's going to be another hour on this podcast. I was trying to give it to y'all short, but y'all about to be in for a little journey.
Give it to y'all short.
Yeah, hey, yo. What the fuck? All right. So why are we like this?
I don't know, man. Childhood trauma. Who knows?
Oh my God, Chad. Shit. All right, no, but for real.
I blame that damn hip hop music.
Oh fuck you, Ja Rule.
It's murder. Anyway.
Hey, yo. Oh, shit. That's crazy. That's crazy.
We gotta do it one more time.
You are now in tune to the Phree Game Podcast.
Okay. Yellow dope.